Welcome to Work in Progress, Conversations with Creators. I'm your host, Logan Roy Speitman. On today's program, I have with me Jordan Markus, who plays Michael Jackson in MJ the Musical. We talk about that and what he did to get into character, and I think it's a really interesting conversation. I hope that you enjoy.
If you enjoy our podcast, please like and subscribe and consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Albuquerque Journal to help us bring you more content like this. You can find this episode and all of our podcasts on the Albuquerque Journal website, abqjournal.com, as well as YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify. See the show notes for a discount code on a digital subscription. Thank you for supporting the Albuquerque Journal, New Mexico's leading news.
Jordan, great to have you here. Tell us about MJ the Musical. How's it going?
Of course. Well, it's going great so far. I'm having time of my life on this tour. I mean, MJ's been the gift that keeps on giving. So it's been just a really fun time touring with this cast and this crew for the last couple of years.
Yeah, amazing. And I heard that, when you were growing up, MJ was like a big deal for you, right? Maybe talk about that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, growing up, I remember one of the first videos of MJ that I saw was his Bad Music video, and I I would remember trying to like twirl around in my grandma's living room to sort of emulate Michael, and he meant a lot to me as a kid, and I really gravitated toward his music and him and as a person, and just I feel like most people had a Michael phase growing up, but mine lasted a little longer than most. So I think it paid off though.
Yeah, well, I'd say it seems like it's paid off. And I think, for people that are younger that weren't really around for the height of his fame, I think it's kind of hard to even explain. Like he was
Oh
almost
yeah.
almost a godlike figure. I feel like I was trying to think of anyone else who might compare, like maybe Beyonce, but I think even then it's like doesn't quite reach the level.
Yeah, I think we have these conversations a lot nowadays with like who can compare to Michael's fame, especially what people refer to as the peak of his career. But the sheer fact that we're having those conversations is a testament to how big he was and is to this day. I
Yeah.
mean, the fact that we're comparing any artist today, 16 years after he's passed, to him is enough to say, his legacy is like none other.
Yeah, yeah. Did you feel a lot of pressure? Because this is, if we talk about celebrities who people do like impressions of or,
Hmm.
impersonations, he's right. It's like him and Elvis, I think,
Yeah, they're like at the top.
So we've all seen a lot of people being Michael.
Hmm.
Um, and like, so do you feel like there's a lot of pressure, kind of to get it right? And what was that process like becoming Michael?
Well, I do feel like there was a lot of pressure, mostly not even from like outside factors from myself to really want to get it right. I mean, simply being such a fan before I stepped into this show and now learning even more about Michael from portraying him every night. The pressure came from me first, and then I felt like, a lot of people are going to expect you to not be able to pull this off. That's just the
Yeah,
nature of this beast. It's like, oh, okay, let's see what this guy's really got. But I also think that on the flip side of that, it turned into fuel a little bit, like, do you ever get that feeling where like someone tells you you can't do something and makes you want to do it more?
sure.
It's like
Yeah.
to prove them wrong and to prove to yourself that you can, achieve great things. So I think that the pressure, while it being a daunting task, it also helped a little bit in the process. And speaking of the process, we started rehearsals in New York City before we kicked off the tour, and needless to say, they were very, very rigorous. We had Rich and Tone Talawega, who were Michael's dancers and choreographers for a while he was alive and touring and doing all the things. They came in and whipped us into shape. I remember, I say this all the time. I remember doing Billie Jean for the first couple weeks that we were rehearsing, only Billie Jean. In the first week, it was just the first 8 counts of Billie Jean. They really wanted to nail the details into us and instill in us that perfectionism that Michael lived with his entire life. So, to portray him honestly, that's really what it took. And to this day, we still rehearse so much, and Rich and Tone come in and, you know, help us keep the instrument thriving and maintain the detail and the perfectionism that we, learned way back in 2023. And, right
Yeah.
now they're choreographing the movie and, they're just doing all great things on their own. But, they helped us tremendously when it comes to portraying Michael.
Yeah, I guess the dancing the toughest part? Because 'Cause you're dancing, you're singing, you're acting,
Oh, yeah. I
but
would say it depends on the day,
uh-huh.
honestly. Honestly, it depends on the day which part is the toughest. Initially to learn, I think the dancing was probably toughest, but I mean, now that we've rehearsed and like it's in our bodies, it's more fun than anything. And I love playing around with new shapes and poses and different things. But I mean, the vocals in this show are also so, so, so hard to sing. It's a hard sing. I mean, it's just a difficult show. But now that we're so deep into this tour and now that we've found a groove and a stride, it's more about, you know, maintenance and having fun in the moment when we're doing the show. I mean, it's a whole lot of fun. I can't wait for Albuquerque to see
Yeah,
it. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a very, very demanding show in every aspect. But yeah, they were all very difficult to learn and to get into our bodies.
Do you see yourself more like, because I think anyone who's doing Broadway, you're doing all 3. You're singing, you're dancing, you're acting.
Absolutely.
But do you consider yourself, like, more of a dancer or more of a like, where do you kinda lay there?
That's a good question. I consider myself a singer first because that's where I started.
Yeah.
I fell in love with music first as a child, and Michael was a huge part of that. He was a huge catalyst in that process, and that's why I consider myself a singer first. And then I fell in love with acting shortly after, and then dancing came a few years after that. So, I mean, it all, like you said, it all molds into one when we're doing all three at the same time every night. But yeah, I mean, if anyone were to ask me, I would say singer first and
Yeah.
singer, actor, dancer, that would be me.
Let me ask, because like, working with Michael's choreographers, did they have stories about him? Did you ask about,
Oh
like,
yeah.
anything? Yeah?
To this day, we always bug them about like, what was he like? What does he do like this? Did he do this? Like what?
Uh-huh.
So I mean, they have tons of stories of being in the room and in a rehearsal room with him, no less, because that's where our show is set. So they had lots of stories about that to really help us inform the character behind, you know, all the songs and all the choreography. The person behind it all. They really helped us with those little details. And I mean, yeah, there are tons of stories that I hope some of them will come out in this movie. They were just
Mhm.
about how great he was at his craft. I mean, Michael was we saw a lot of, the art that he produced, but even the things that we didn't see, like all the unreleased things and all the numbers that, didn't make it to the tours, nothing, they were all so spectacular. So I can't wait to see that, performed full-fledged, maybe in this movie, but also Rich and Tone would just sit us down sometimes and tell us stories about what they did on breaks during rehearsals and how Michael was in the room, how he wanted like all the speakers to be at their highest peak to feel the music, not just hear it. Like you could barely hear anything else but the bass in that room, they would say. And it was just a really surreal experience to be able to get that information firsthand from people who were there with him.
Yeah, it seems like he was a real perfectionist,
Oh
right?
yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, I don't know, like, if it would have been difficult to be kinda one of his backup dancers, if he was, like, very demanding, or he was I have no idea what that would have been like, kind of working with him.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm sure it was so difficult to even be chosen for that job, but I mean, if you've if you ever get the pleasure to meet Rich and Tone, you would understand why. I mean, they're just as, detail oriented and just as much of a perfectionist as Michael most likely was. I mean, they are very hard workers and it speaks through their work. I mean, they're very renowned choreographers from Michael and otherwise. They're great. So I can understand exactly why they would mesh well with Michael's perfectionism and
Yeah.
why they were chosen for this job.
And, like, I mean, Michael's voice was higher than yours,
Yes.
but there's a quality, a kind of, I don't know, maybe a sort of softness or something that I think it's like, I could imagine you, becoming him. Was it
Yeah.
difficult to kinda get the voice right?
Honestly, I think his speaking voice might have been one of the things that sort of came with me, so to
Hmm.
speak. I mean, I think I've always sort of been a soft-spoken person. I never was like, I would never consider myself to be very loud. So I think that that is what something I brought to the table just, inherently. But yeah, I think through a lot of studying of like his interviews and, just his rehearsal footage, which luckily I found online, like all these things, and even reading his autobiography, Moonwalk. I mean, I wanted to dive into anything that I could that was Michael to really understand him and really, you know, from what he sounded like to what he looked like, what he smelled like, what he felt in any certain moment. So like I really wanted to understand the man behind all of the glamour to give an honest portrayal of him on stage. This is a show full of respect and reverence for this great art and this great artist.
Yeah, yeah. And he really had this kind of duality because he was a very shy person, I think, very soft-spoken, quiet. But then when he got on stage, it was like no one had more confidence.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Michael on stage is the confidence that we all strive to have in our daily lives. I mean, he could do no wrong, and you could tell, like it oozed out of his ears. The confidence and just the bravado that he had on stage. I mean, it is sort of a duality in that way, and he spoke about that in his book, I think. But I mean, he said he felt most at home when performing, when being on stage. So I think we
Yeah.
could really feel that.
Do you feel that way yourself? Is there a difference between who you are on stage and in your everyday life?
I think honestly, a little bit. I think being on stage is such a freeing experience. I mean, especially in a live theater show. I mean, there's just something about the energetic exchange that we get from, this cast of 30 giving all of our energy to this crowd of thousands and then them giving it right back to us. And then it's just a really, really fun way to be as vulnerable and as honest as possible through these, through these imaginary circumstances that our team has built. And it's just, I feel like there is sort of a duality in that way. Cause I mean, how could there not be? It's just such a freeing experience. I really can't describe it as anything else.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And with I think we have just 1 minute left. So, what's the response been so far?
Oh my goodness. Thankfully, the response has been electric. I mean, through every city that we've gone through, which I wonder how many we've been through at this point. It's, it's probably
Yeah.
around 100, but I mean, I'm thankful that the response from all these audiences have been so, so warm, so electric, so lively. I mean, the show deals with a lot of different themes and a lot of different eras of Michael's life. And I mean, there are so many stories to be told with this man, but at the end of the day, it is a celebration of art, celebration of life, celebration of legacy, and everyone's up on their feet dancing by the end of the show, and it's just a huge party at the end of the day. So I'm really thankful that all these audiences have received it so well.
Well, that's fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing it myself. And yeah, thank you for sharing your time with us.
Of course, thank you, Logan. I appreciate it.